Hello and welcome to teamfortress.tv, and this is the second stream. Tonight we are streaming LEGO versus SUAVE Gaming, or is it SUAVE Esports? I'm not entirely sure. Either way, joining me tonight is Twiggy, our SUAVE Frenchman, and Sim, our LEGO caster production. There's no pun to make with LEGO, good God. How are you doing, Twiggy?
Pretty okay, I'm alright. And I'm thrilled to see the new additions to the SUAVE roster, because I may have heard that Nox is not playing tonight.
Yes, it's brought a tear to everyone's eye. Nox, the main caller of SUAVE, I'm reason to believe that he's just gone missing. He's taken this time, this dip into the ETF2L season to kind of take a vacation. I think this will be the greatest time of them all. What with LEGO being seeded last in Prem right now, and including all the predicted seeds and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll know if this call was a bit presumptuous from Nox or not after the match, because as you said on the paper, there is no match between SUAVE and LEGO, but maybe if they are a bit too overconfident, surprises could happen. Who knows?
Yeah, man. We saw, I think, the previous week where LEGO actually drew blood from. Sorry, somebody's calling me on Steam. Good God.
Offline rules for the caster prevail on this kind of occasions. Yeah, I have been bombed quite a few times in past casts as well. So anyway, Nox is not playing, and he called his longtime buddy Mitzi, who I don't know if he's playing, if he's still on Canada, because the last season he played as medic with Nox, he was on Canada, but seeing he has only 20 ping, I would guess he's back to the Western Europe.
Yeah, he's gone back. He's been pulled back out of retirement just in time to replace Ips in this new season. So it was kind of the greatest replacement that SUAVE could ask for, with Ips suddenly departing for seemingly unknown reasons. Anyway, I've been informed by Samsy that we're going to be going live in like 90 seconds, so we might just quickly trans over to a team head-to-head. We'll have a quick look at that, and then we'll just jump straight into it. So I'm not sure if the magic's already happening on the screen here, but what I can see on this quick match team to head-to-head report is you've got the most valued players for the SUAVE side is Mike, outputting a very healthy 24% of the team's damage, as well as like 22% of the kill ratio. But if we swing over to the other side of LEGO, you see the one that's pulling all the weight for their side is actually Sorex.
Yeah, Sorex, a very good scout that used to play for the now dead Italian team Hard Gaming. And I believe it's his second season into the Premiership, after one season with the Admirable Boys Cool Clan. Rest in peace, Cool Clan. So he can make stuff happen for LEGO, but will the rest of the team hold their ground against the more experienced SUAVE players in the meantime?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Twiggy, but we're going live all of a sudden. So if you're just tuning in, this is Season 20, powered by TT Esports. This is Week 3, Gullywash map, SUAVE versus LEGO. Take us away, Twiggy, what's going on?
I don't know, because my game crashed actually, so...
Alright, okay, going in straight into the middle, we see SUAVE taking a major control on their side of the map now. You see Dr. Phil being pinched together by Kyler and Mike. Mike doing a good job of picking off that medic, but you just see Sorex and Sepluch, butchering that name, but Kyler does actually win the 1v1 in the elbow there, picks up the health pack. He's going to take on Sepluch on the midpoint, but he's doing a good job of holding his ground. He's actually taken very low. He's actually capped the point before Kyler can go and kill him or block him, and now he's just going back, tail between his legs, and his team is now ready to back him up on the mid. So the first mid actually going for LEGO's side, but SUAVE aren't giving this up for a fight. They've just restarted the mid all over again, thinking that they just need to give more advantages to LEGO here. Now they've got the spawn advantage. They actually start off the bat with 2 kills immediately. Samsy and Mike going down. That's the top players from SUAVE going down there. We even see a cheeky little pick like rocket coming out from Salmon when he tried to jump up the drop down.
And I'm back to see a nice surprise of an adventurous Lego team that is now pushing on second, finding another frag on Mitzi. That's a late spawn, only with 15 seconds left for him to be able to help his team, and that maybe means that SUAVE will give up lobby control, especially if Numlocked finds himself caught in lobby. But fortunately for him, Dr. Phil's not taking the risks to go above the Numlocked stickies on the door. And it looks like we're gonna see some kind of Uber push from the red boys here. Very interesting start from this map.
Yeah, I bet everyone's a bit shocked right now. Everyone's just taking the time to kind of cool down, grab their wits about them, kind of registering what just happened. Maybe this is just like a slight chink into the SUAVE armor. They throw Salmon in to try and see if they can get some sort of advantage going, because it is even Stevens right now. And now you see with Salmon down, they'd see maybe they could poke out with Numlock. Numlock says, no, this is too risky, I'm just going to go head back.
Yeah, especially as they lost Kyler doing the play on his own, maybe on the riverside area. Well, Salmon, interestingly enough, opts to spawn as sniper, so we will see how SUAVE reacts to this, and if they can spot him in time. We can see that Mitzi and Numlocked, very experienced players, are very close, holding on the locker, so they are completely denying any kind of. Oh, but Salmon, yeah, instead of going balcony, goes riverside and gets the head of Merlin, so that means that Bitter is free to pop his Ubercharge and buys his team the entry to last. The SUAVE team completely scattered around, but that means that they are too far away to block the point, and that's the first round to Lego. Who would have thought that?
Oh my
Certainly
God.
not me.
Twiggy, we've got ourselves a game, boy!
Oh yeah.
First round going towards Lego there. All it took was just one shot, one kill, one scope in from Salmon. Immediately picks out Merlin, and that just got the dominoes falling. As we tune into this second mid, we got Kyler going strong arm in that first side of the map. We got Numlocked protecting his side as well. Both teams are just kind of playing out quiet so far. Sorix gets a slight little pick on Mike, trying to show some aggressive. Lego showing a lot of like defensive capabilities here, but actually no, Kyler has kind of snuck his way in. He came round from elbow, quickly stole the health back, and then just kind of pinched Dr. Phil there. Maybe things are going back to normal, Twiggy.
Oh yeah, but unfortunately for Lego, their soldier play was rather ineffective on this mid, and they just managed to hold a long time because Mitzi and these boys were quite ineffective in bombing Dr. Phil either. But Merlin has shown his dodging abilities by surviving on only 20 health, which means that he has no Uber charge, which means in return a 3-second point for the SUAVE boys and maybe a push to last. If Lego are not careful, they could find themselves tied up very quickly.
Yeah, it's a very scary situation for Lego though. They found themselves right now. They even give away a pick and lobby. Oh, that is bad news bears. They needed that Demo Man. That Demo Man is the linchpin of a last defense, especially one that's defending against an Uber. And now medic Beta gets taken out immediately with that Uber. Now it's just the scouts left for Lego to pick up the pieces, but there's just so many pieces, Twiggy. I'm not sure if they can do it. Or can they do it? They actually see them working together, taking out the players one by one. Dr. Phil has come back. He's here to reinforce his team, but Merlin stayed alive during all that. And then Phil gets taken now. And Kyler's going for the last, but Sorix, the main man of Lego, has taken him out, protecting that last point for his team.
This is very tense here, but in the meantime Merlin has retained a significant Uber advantage, so that means that SUAVE will have another shot at getting Lego down, and Lego knows that they have an Uber disadvantage. Look at Sepulch and Sorix playing respectively heavy and pyro. This is what they need to hold against this Uber, because Bitter is hitting 70% now. Mitzi surely knows the Uber advantage is thin, and look at them, they are going for it, but the Pyro is doing his job. They now have to still kill him, and they still have to work on the heavy weapons guy. The heavy weapons guy goes down, but Bitter now has the Uber and saves Dr. Phil by the... Dr. Phil had like 20 health when he was saved.
Yeah, Dr. Phil actually takes out Mike there. They were also very low on this. Beta was at like 99%, sitting on like 18 HP, and he just manages to get it, saves his last two players. But I guess it was just enough. You thought SUAVE might have just came back in as soon as that Uber was over, but the respawners as well just kind of made that really difficult for SUAVE.
It looks like that Lego wants to go for lobby control and maybe for a push, but I'm sure that Numlocked will say no to them. Unless Numlocked gets killed, though, he was very close to dying there, which would have been a bit disastrous for SUAVE Gaming.
Yeah, they can't die right now. If he dies, especially with Kylo down as well, they're just definitely going to pump the push from Lego here. They actually have the Uber advantage. They could just go into them with this Uber, try and focus down the medic, but they took way too long. Beat actually gets disconnected from his pocket, Josh, and now Josh gets taken out during all the chaos. And now they're just making a swift escape back to last, seeing if they can just kind of recollect themselves. But now all the SUAVE pieces are just leaking in. But they're doing a good job of focusing down what's left, but the focus from SUAVE is just so much better. Oh, the air shot to finish.
A very impressive play from SUAVE. Maybe a bit shocked themselves to find themselves a rundown at the start of this map. They want to they want to prove that they are superior even without their French main caller Nox. And let's see if Lego soldiers can turn the tides on this mid.
We start up another mid with Dr. Phil taking a lot of damage early on. He actually gets taken out by the very long delayed sticky from Numlock now. And now with the Demoman full health for SUAVE and the Demoman down for Lego, it kind of maybe nails the coffin nail. Unless Salmon gets a wondrous pick and his team backs him up with his little aggression there. Now it's just Numlock by himself. He doesn't really feel like being alive right now. And now he gets taken out. Mirroring is to follow. I guess maybe it was the plan all along. Phil was just the sandbag for Lego to just absorb all that damage.
Impressive play by Josh and Salmon there. That combined very well to put the pressure onto Mike and then onto Num. On the advantage now. So what will they choose to do there? Trying to Uber scouts in. They have only one scout with the demo man. Will that be in? He's down the pyro. It doesn't seem like it. As the pyro is still alive, killing the med. How can this happen when you Uber scouts?
Ooh.
And Lego gets wiped.
Another air shot coming out from Mike. He just seems to end every single fight with a dynamic air shot. But yeah, disastrous push coming out
That's
from.
A shame.
It is a very infamously difficult last to push though, Twiggy.
Yeah, but I didn't understand why the Uber Scout didn't focus the Pyro to help his demo man putting the damage.
Well, Pyro, they think once they're in, it's kind of like a negligible class to really focus on. You just feel like
you bumps your medic back into the locker and then kills him with a flare gun.
Oh, but Kylo walking past everybody and Lego. Actually, Beta gets taken out. Beta trying to kind of kite Kylo there. He actually goes back into the fight, and Mitzi just picks the easiest rocket of his life.
Yeah, fortunately for Lego, Sorex and Sepulch are making a good job at delaying the mid cap and even forcing Merlin.
Oh, Phil, the epic fight between Numlock and Phil in this lobby area here. Numlock kind of putting on his Lego hat, pretending he's the Lego defending from SUAVE right there, trying to shut out a retreating Lego, but they actually kill him in the end and get back to their last. Yeah,
they have to see, especially since Phil died. He was down to 40 health thanks to Numlock's good play. But now Ubers are equal, and we see no off class on the field. Will SUAVE opt to push on the dot with this Uber, confident on their deathmatch abilities, or will they opt for some kind of suicide play?
Yeah, it's very strange out of Lego. You think they would just start bringing out some sort of off classes. It only takes like 2 seconds to switch back from that off class, ready for another push. But you have to go with your gut, man. If you feel like pretty confident in your scout, you're hitting all those shots. Sometimes it's the best defending the classes. The Uber comes straight in. Beta responds in kind of his Uber. He's only Ubered one player, whilst Mirren had to multi a lot of his players, but they just don't dare go into that huge death trap of the lobby right now. Salmon actually gets caught off guard in like a
Mike is ready to push. Mike is making the submarine play and is now jumping onto Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is backing up behind the point, but SUAVE are 2 down. It's highly unlikely that they will commit any more players to that play. And maybe Kyler will opt to off class. Yes, Kyler is going spy. So that's the call for SUAVE.
We could have maybe seen a push out from Lego there. They did have 2 players down, and Salmon was respawning very quickly. They could have just made a very aggressive push.
Don't forget who we are casting. It's Lego.
Right?
Even if the opposing team is 4 mans down, they won't push.
Yeah,
So
and
maybe that's why SUAVE is going for this kind of human suicides.
Yeah, and it is the Seed 1 team as well. Maybe nerves are kind of settling into the Lego squad, thinking like, we can't push against this team, man. Mike's like 5 players in his own right.
That could be an interesting thing to ask at the end. And look at this play from SUAVE. They are using their own Ubercharge to buy the diversion for their spy. And now the spy is making the play on the point. Is now revealed.
Oh, the scouts with very fast reactions to that scout on point there. And all while struggling the SUAVE team, punching them in the front. Very well played coming out from Lego there just to defend against that. And now you do see them checking stickies, looking to make a push now while they've got the momentum and they've got Kyler down. Kyler's going to respawn very soon, he's back on scout. They've actually got Sorex here already pushing out the team by himself. He doesn't need the cab, he's the MVP of Lego. The bitch classes have to do that. And now Josh gets taken out at the big door area there by both combined scout power. It was just maybe Sorex should start capping points rather than start defending and pushing back teams. Okay, and the Uber comes out, the SUAVE by tip. They actually take out Beta in time before he could get his Uber, and now it's all tatters for Lego here. 2-1 to SUAVE.
It's even more a shame that the Ubers were equal at the start of this fight, and then poor building from Beta just cost them the round, I guess.
Yeah, it's nice to see SUAVE being very confident with their building there, going right on the dot and actually knowing exactly when who to focus.
Yeah.
Once they could take Beta out, that was just the game for SUAVE. And we
Can
go
Dr.
into another
Phil
middle.
survive? That's the question on this mid Turbotabs.
Yeah, well, the mid is being played out very slowly. No frags happening so far. The first aggressive jump happening from Salmon, but he kind of immediately retreats. He actually gets a pick for his troubles and still survives. What a player, Salmon. He does get taken out in the way, but now SUAVE just pushing over the point with the combined power of Mike and Kyler. They're doing a good job of dishing out damage, but they just can't get those kills, it's Twiggy.
Yes, very good play by Sorex there, going on the other side of the point to focus down Merlin during the push, getting down the heals for the blue boys here. Yeah, Dr. Phil survived a bit longer on this mid, and that proved effective as he was able to dish out damage, especially after Solomon got the early pick onto Numlocked. Maybe a bit of an overconfident play from SUAVE to commit that hard, especially when they get their demo man down as the first casualty.
Yeah, so now things have calmed down a bit. We've got a full Uber advantage just about for Beta and his crew. They're going sneaking straight in from the lower. They might not even see this happening. They've kind of wrapped up behind them. They can't get to the resupply. They're kind of caught out here. Can Josh finish off Mitzi here? He's taken such a long time. Beta actually does the job for him. You've got Numlock trying his best to slap people off at that point. Josh is taking his sweet time and just fighting these players here. But now he just realised he's outmatched, he's outgunned. Everybody's dead on his team. And now Beta just retreats.
Yeah, that's the saving grace for Lego, that Beta made the right move by escaping there. And I honestly thought that Lego would win this fight. Interesting play from Numlock to buy as much time as possible for his spawn.
You see Salmon making a jump onto Numlock there. Numlock actually giving him quick footsie work there, jumping away. Last thing Salmon probably predicted coming out there. But Lego really desperately want to hold this point here, but it might prove disastrous. They've lost the respawn advantage now, but they don't care. Actually, SUAVE are doing an excellent job kind of focusing down. But in saying that, Caster's Curse is swung back round into Lego's favour. I don't know what I'm talking about, Twiggy. Please tell me what's going on.
What's going on is that Beta retained the Uber advantage, and now they are Ubering on last, and that could be the run for them unless a 13 health Mike can make a 6k. Even Mike cannot do this. Even Yuki cannot do this anyway. So interesting to see Lego not lose their composure about against SUAVE, and SUAVE maybe making a bit of bad decisions, I would say, sometimes. Yeah,
it is sometimes some bad decisions coming out from both teams, but it seems just like the chaos of Lego of all teams now, kind of, especially Salmon. Salmon wasn't really, he's never played for this team before, he's just a merc, and now he's coming in doing a thunderous performance for Lego here. Maybe he'll just start to, maybe he'll get picked up by the Lego squad after this game if they actually win it, and it might look like they win it. They're taking middle, they actually wipe, they wiped SUAVE there, Numlocked just respawning at the last. And those Numlocked does get taken out as well. Wow. And now while Sorex even takes out Samzy, every time I try and pan to a dying player of SUAVE, they just get taken out before I even get there. Sorex is just too fast for my fingers.
I would pay some refined metal to hear what Nox would have to say about this match if he was there, but he is not.
Yeah, raise the
None of his boys
fishes.
are forced to defend last with the heavy pyro setup against the Lego Uber charge, and it seems that Lego will not Uber scouts, which could be disastrous against a well-positioned Kyler for fun, but no, Kyler goes down to stickies. Soldiers make point presence now, but that means that nobody is focusing Samzy as the heavy, and this is another car crash of a push, and this time Beater cannot escape.
Oh, I saw the mistake there, Twiggy. Well, after they killed that pyro, which was, you know, it could have gone worse, it could have gone better, but they killed the pyro in the end. It did take a while. They had to make a big decision. They had to think, do we go for the point, or do we go for that heavy? And they chose
They went for
poorly.
the point, yeah.
Yeah. Numlock was there delaying that point as well, and the heavy and all these backing up players, it just made it way too hard to go for that point. Maybe if they could kill Numlock in the first few seconds, they could get that last point, but it was just, you know, poor decision indeed.
It's not the easiest play to make in these kind of situations. And now Merlin has his Uber charge, and he wants to keep it while pushing on mid. Good job checking the traps from Sam and Numlock, and it looks like nobody from Lego is positioned to be able to make a play. They were all clustered in that big door area and took tons of spam from Numlock's stickies.
Yeah,
Numlock, the former best demo man in the world.
The former, is he no longer the best demo man in the world? We'll see. Maybe with this performance, it is 2-2 as well, and this was not predicted by any means. But now you see Numlock on a whole new stride. Maybe he just he only likes to work well under tight situations.
He has the occasion to become again the best demo man of the world if he can get a nice Uber exchange, but no Beater pops in time. And once again Lego will make the safe call and not choose to push SUAVE inside their lobby. And will we see some off-classing from Mike? That's the question. Mike.
Yeah, he does like to play sniper from time to time, Mike. But no, he decided to stick with his best class, his soldier class. Probably one of the more destructive classes. No, probably the MVP actually for SUAVE here. And you don't really want to swap out that guy.
Yeah, Donut is the one making the most kills for SUAVE in this round actually.
Oh, wow.
Followed closely by Sorex from the Lego boys.
Alright, you see SUAVE prompting for a push already. They've got the Uber, and now time just ticks. They could have maybe gone for the very quick dot push, maybe focus down Beater there, but they took way too long now. Beater has his Uber, he's going to counter pop now. SUAVE going to retreat back, maybe see if they can just like recycle and rotate back in, or will they just try and build that Uber back up again, just bring that...
Yeah. He's underneath actually. I don't know if anyone called him. He's about to make a play on the point. Yes, Sorex is coming to check, but it's not the best position to fight as a scout. He wisely backs off, and Mitzi backs off as well.
Yeah, Beat actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Beat actually doing a good job of like clawing back the advantages there. You'd think after SUAVE popping first and then Beater reacting that Beater would have the slight disadvantage, but no, he's actually gaining a slight advantage. Very well played coming up. Like just the little details, Twiggy.
Yeah, but they can surely make the difference when you find yourself with a soldier on your head, and you are at 95%. But I would like to know if Beater actually knows he has about himself a 10% advantage. And it doesn't seem like it, as Lego is not making the move. They are waiting for a mistake from the SUAVE boys.
Ooh.
The Uber is not popped actually from Merlin. They managed to make the defenders pop first. And Dr. Phil goes down to a street trap from Numlock. This could be very dangerous if SUAVE elects to push back in. Yes, they do. They are using Mitzi as a bait on the point, and then they pop the Uber charge. Only 3 players from Lego remain. Peter is forced to pull the Uber. So once again, can the SUAVE boys can seal the deal?
Oh, but Selfridge and Salmon are just buying so much time. Phil did respawn in time, but he couldn't take out all those players on point. It was just too late. Yeah. And for anybody who missed it there was some quite advanced tactics coming out from SUAVE there. You see Mike jumped in. It kind of prompted Lego to react like, Mike's jumping our men, we need to protect him. But he was just jumping to the other door. He was just a distraction for the actual push coming in from the scouts, and they forced him. Anyway, exactly. onto the next bid now. Mitzi focusing Salmon at the start of the mid. They're realising the problem of Salmon just causing so much chaos in his mid. But he's doing a good job of just pulling 3 players' attention there. But it's all SUAVE need to kind of just like decimate that Lego core. I guess if you take out Salmon, you take out the team, Twiggy.
It seems so, yeah. Someone elected himself to go for a counter jump on the soldier that was pressuring field. And now Bitter is fighting hard with Josh to save his life, and it seems that he would get the worst case scenario as he dies just while he was pushing his last. I know this is very dangerous from Lego. They have to pull something very magical now, or an off-class, or something to hold against the SUAVE, because otherwise they will find themselves down 4-2, and there's only 8 minutes left.
Trading Sorix for Mike. I'm not sure if I would take that trade, especially with an Uber coming in right now. But they've done it once, maybe they can do it again. You see Josh just sat at the top of that perch, just having a good mix between defending the outside ground and defending the point. The scout actually tries to quickly call back, but Josh picks him out in the end. Sorix and Self-Punch doing a wonderful job of just, you know, protecting the front face against SUAVE.
Yeah, very good job by Lego to not step on the point, and they were still able to block any player from SUAVE to go put some cap time, and it completely denied Numlocked on this push as he was seeking the point from the low ground, and he was not outputting damage onto the red combo. And know that Lego has an Uber advantage. They surely know that they have at least 30% Uber advantage, but will they elect to use it? They still have a round to claim back, but on the other hand, it's quite difficult to push out of Gullywash last, especially with a tiny advantage like that.
Yeah, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. It's just the calm before the storm. We have Salmon kind of defending Riverside right now. Nothing much going on there. SUAVE are just kind of delaying because they know it's even, and there's not much they can do right now unless. And I don't think they're going to fall for the same trick twice like they did last round. Mike gets taken out immediately, but Miralin never popped, you see, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Actually, they trade soldiers for soldier, so again, not the worst thing in the world, it's just delaying more time.
I suspect maybe SUAVE to make this kind of players on purpose to fool Lego into thinking they can push out. That could be the next level strategies that players like Mirlian and Nox could appreciate and set up on their own team, but Lego is not falling for it.
Yeah, if only we had the calls for that, we could just see, Mike, we need you to die right here, so they have a false sense of security. Go! Maybe it was just a kill by all along.
Yeah, what would you do as Lego now that there is only 6 minutes left and you are pinned back on your last?
Well, I would react to this Uber push that just came in from SUAVE. Beta does just that, he pops all his players, but they've neglected the point here. They're actually going for a slight submarine play now with Mike coming back as heavy, but again, he's just caught in that very weird area as a heavy weapons guy, and you can't shoot around the corners really as a heavy, and if you're just caught in that bit, just connecting between the last point and the
nobody has seen Numlocked on last.
Oh no, he's capping point. He's got the pain train. He's actually juggled them in the air. Oh, Lego caught with their pants down. Where was he hiding?
He was making the submarine play after the first submarine failed attempt, and he was with the scout, and then the scout shows himself on the point, dies to Lego player that were checking, and then Lego thinks that it's okay, that nobody's left under, and they forgot to check it, and Numlocked was hidden just there.
So it's distraction submarine for the submarine, my lord.
Yeah.
You see Mike jumping straight in, tearing Dr. Phil off of this middle here, and now SUAVE with that newfound motivation have just decided to try and move forward here. But you see a couple of players scattered for both teams now, some on the floor, some on the ground, but SUAVE are just doing a much better job of protecting Miralin here. And now it's 2 players up for Beta, very low. But Sammy doesn't care, now he cares, he takes him out, but Josh actually takes out Numlock. It's kind of wonder what trade you want to make here, but we all know scouts toward the end of this middle make the most fiendish... Oh, in saying that, Josh actually elects to take out Miralin instead, cut his losses and actually kills him. Very well played coming out from Josh there, prioritising his target. And now we're on to the second middle, Twiggy, as Mike gets taken out here. Sorix comes back in. Both of the scout plays coming out from both teams, so chaotic.
Intense
and
fighting,
now
yeah,
you see Kylo cleaning up Self-Punch, but Sorix cleans him up. It's a trading card game, Twig. What do you want? I want to trade my Sorix card for this Numlock card. Okay.
What a play by Sorex. Will the SUAVE boys elect to give up the mid? Yes, they will, because the numlock loss is too much for them. But good play from Mike on the respawn to take down Dr. Phil. Intense fighting from the Lego boys. They surely.
Oh, Josh, you didn't see Mike there. Mike actually chips him up into the air and gets a nice little air shot as well to kind of clean him up. But this has not phased Lego one little bit as they come back in. Mike goes for his second jump. He's just doing all sorts of distractions. I mean, they more fire each other. He's kind of begging his team, please come in and help me kill them. And that's what they're doing right now. They've actually pinned him off on the only exit point for Lego, and now they've all just been wiped. And during all the end of that, Mike stays alive.
Yeah, that's because he's a good roamer, you know? He recognizes well when he's not support and when he needs to jump out, and he jumped out at the perfect moment for Mitzi to do the follow-up bomb and block the exit point from Bitter and Dr. Phil.
Yes.
I know Bitter on he spawned on last. There is no off classes on the field for Lego, and Merlin has his Uber. So unless Josh or Salmon can force the Uber of Merlin before he gets on last, the Lego team will find themselves in trouble. But that's what is done at the moment by, I think it was Salmon, yeah. But in the meantime, the Uber managed to find Dr. Phil, and that means no stickies to block the point. The Lego boys have to put all their bodies onto it, and it's not enough for them to stop the SUAVE invasion.
Yeah. I bet people are watching this now, Twiggy, and wondering what is going on with Lego. Why are they just throwing bodies in while it's that dead time section? It's coming very close. They need to get to the point where they need to make something happen now if they even want to tie with SUAVE right now. But now with that last point being capped by SUAVE, it's kind of the nail in the coffin. I think it's mathematically impossible. I don't want to lie to the viewers. I don't want to hype you up. This game is over. Now it's just filler.
Yeah, any team without bite cannot cap 3 rounds in Gullywash in less than 2 minutes, so...
Yeah, you need a license to buy.
Yeah, if you buy the license, yeah, then you can do it. But still a much better show coming out from the Lego team than what I at least expected myself before this game.
Yeah, it was a pretty hype game. Seeing some pretty clutch defenses coming out from Lego there. I would say the last point is probably the strongest section of their entire Gullywash game. They really know their roles quite perfectly.
Yes, unfortunately you cannot win a game by staying on last. And SUAVE is getting very good at mastering the time limit. It seems proved to be too strong for the Lego boys, probably protecting themselves on preparing Logjam.
Yep, next map, Logjam. And now it's just kind of, both teams are just kind of prattling about at this point. Maybe they're both just discussing now what mistakes they made and how we can kind of bring it into the next map. Will we see SUAVE kind of try and be more crushing as people expected them to be, or will we see Lego... Oh, nice snipe coming out from Salmon there. But yeah, maybe we'll see Lego kind of play off the points that they're doing really well at. Maybe get out more of these clutch plays, play off the fact that Salmon's being a huge pest on these middle.
Yeah, indeed, they certainly have some arguments to use against this SUAVE team that is playing a bit, I wouldn't say a shaky game, but they're taking their time. And they are not afraid to play the clock, even if they are losing. So yeah, playing with Salmon could be the saving grace, especially considering the amount of skip jumps you can make on Logjam.
And there it is, the fat lady is sung, the games are over, players have called GG, Seb pushes even Paul, said, told you I'd wreck you, Sam. So, let's see if he was right. Let's have a look at the logs, Twiggy. Alright, I've got the logs loaded right here. Maybe someone can link wonderful SUAVE caster, the logs. But let's see, let's go to the most appealing stat of them all. Let's have a look at the damage. The E-peen of E-logs. And we see trailing right at the top, just as expected, Mike, with a massive... Actually, then again, people might think Nomlock would do a more wondrous job on there. But yeah, Mike with top damage, about 11k damage, actually stretching more towards the 12k. The only player with above 10k damage. And actually, you see, the other thing I notice here on these logs, Twiggy, is Sorex's damage as well for a scout, 9k.
Yeah, it seems that lately we are seeing quite of clockwork-like scouts in Europe. Of course, we have Zebozai, but players like Sorex can surely be strong.
Yeah, he's
as well.
actually second behind for the most damage-dealing class in his entire team. That is unprecedented for a scout performance.
Indeed, it is, and as well, some shifts we see from last seasons as well is the lack of top damaging demomen these days, as both the demomen Dr. Phil and Numlocked are lagging behind their soldiers' counterpart.
Yes.
Maybe a bit of a meta shift?
Yeah, I bet Numlock coming back now, he's kind of wondering what on earth have they done to my Demoman class whilst I've been away.
I can't hit my stickies now.
I don't know what's going on. Where's my, 14k damages?
And Numlocked still does 88% of his damage with stickies anyway.
Wow. Maybe do you think we'll ever see well, then again, it depends if we see another season coming out of him, but maybe we'll see him pick up that cannonball. Maybe we could see what wondrous things he can make do with that.
Oh yeah. I'm still hoping for a Prem Demoman to play with the Scottish Resistance instead of stickies.
Yeah, we don't. It is allowed in this season's ETF2L and previous seasons before that, but no Demoman's really opted to kind of take the mantle, at least not in the Prem division, and really experiment with the weapon. Maybe Cadus, but he doesn't think too highly of it now. Maybe it just takes some innovators in those lower divs to kind of catch the attention of the higher div players, and then maybe they'll kind of perfect it. As we're moving on to Logjam, our second map of week 3. If you're just joining us, this is season 20, powered by TTE Sports, with Lego versus SUAVE. As we're just waiting for both teams to kind of join up here. What are you expecting on Logjam, Twiggy? Have you ever seen any of these teams play?
I'm expecting some crazy soldier plays from both Salmon and Mike, because the map itself is built to be open and to have wide ramps. Onto them you can slide very easily, so that can help you to that can either make you do more effective bombs because you can gain more speed and more height, but that can also mean that you are more allowed to die than on regular maps, because you can go back to the fight faster thanks to your jumping abilities.
Yes, it is.
So all in all, I'm pretty thrilled by the change the change that Logjam saw from the last season versions to this version.
Yeah, it's nice to see all these new map makers recently, like Process and Logjam, adding a lot more mobility to the maps now, with all these vertical ramps and all these unique pathways and whatnot. It really adds speed and just excitement to these maps. And it's really starting to become community favourites, not like these old maps where they were very stale and very difficult to move around. If I'm thinking
I know what map you are referring to.
Obscure. Okay. Sorry, cough there. But no, I like Logjam. It's nice to see. It's a supported map. It's always been tweaked by Heis, who is probably butchering that name.
Swedish map maker. And there's also a lot more map makers that are making specific maps for the Highlander format, like Koth Reservoir, some other. So yeah, the map makers are making TF2 have a second living now that we haven't seen some new Valve maps since at least a year. Valve more focused obviously on making Halloween maps and a new manpower mode instead of regular 5 CP maps.
Yeah, actually, the last map that I can think of that we tried from Valve was
Foundry, maybe?
Foundry. Oh wow!
It was a long time ago.
We did try that. Oh my god! Yeah, I can remember the cup. Foundry was
maybe a bit too large. Maybe with the spawns.
Yeah, it was large. I can remember the sniper sightlines. Yeah, it was forgettable to say the least. Obviously.
Yeah. I recall as well that the Americans used to play on CP Yukon, which has seen a lot of changes since then.
Oh man, that was donkey years ago, Twiggy. Now I'm not sure if that's going to bring a comeback. Maybe But no, it seems the whole thing now is just to kind of support these new map makers and their new maps. We kind of tried all our Yukons, our Obscures, our Gravel Pits and whatnot. We even swapped out Granary this season. Unprecedented move we didn't expect ETF2L to make. And this is the first season of its kind without the map. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe it might make a comeback to his special Granary. A long legacy. Probably the longest legacy of any map. And now
only Badlands is left from the original map pool now. I'm pretty sure nobody will want to remove Badlands anytime soon anyway.
If Badland goes, then I go. I have much respect and love for that map. Although I think when it first came out, though, people hated that map. They just
Was it a map shipped with the game, or
no,
delivered afterwards?
Later, it was later.
Oh, okay. So originally it was like Granary, SUAVE and stuff like that?
It definitely wasn't in the beta, and it might have been, I don't know how long down the line it got released, but we were playing maps like, what do we don't play anymore?
CP
Well, yes, that's the one I was thinking of. Dear God. That was
the doors.
Oh, that was disgusting. And then there was the fact that there was a whole like ceiling area that nobody went to. Maybe like one player went to, and then you had to send another player up there to make sure he just didn't wander off. And the snipers would always go there, so it would be a pain.
This is one of my favorite maps in pubs because I can sneak behind as engineer and build sneaky sentry guns. But it seems that we are going live and we are not playing on CP well since it's CP Logjam. Go ahead, Turbotabs.
Yep. If you're just tuning in, this is season 20, powered by TT Esports. This is week 3 of our ETF2L season. This is Logjam, Lego versus SUAVE, and we're launching straight into it. Phil taking a lot of damage early on. He's been brought down to minuscule health, and you see Salmon making a big ambitious bomb. He's taking a lot of damage doing that. Gets picked off before he can do anything. Mike is playing hide and seek on the map, actually gets the health back in time. They're being very defensive, SUAVE players are. They're actually ignoring Sorex, now finally take him out. Numlock is doing all, and the scouts actually. Sorry to almost gave Numlock all the credit there. But the soldiers seem to be the ones that are cleaning up all the players behind, and all the scouts and the demo man focusing on the front.
And even Numlock was faster than Dr. Phil on that rollout. Which is a bit of a shame for the Danish demo man. And unfortunately Lego are now facing a complete Uber disadvantage and are forced to get a heavy, but will the heavy alone will be enough to hold the incoming onslaught?
As the Uber gets exchanged out, Vita does not have his Uber to defend this last point, mind you, so he has to stay as defensive as possible just to keep his team healthy and alive. Simon doing a good job, actually getting 2 kills out of his death, but Sorex could not beat off those last players. Beat off. I need better choice of my words. It's Twiggy.
Yeah, let's watch what Dr. Phil is doing actually on this middle, because he was significantly slower than Numlock last mid without having more health than him, which is a bit.
Let's see. We see. He looks pretty fast.
Yeah, this time maybe he hit the rocks area on shock last time. Now that he's fast enough, this team can play the mid properly now.
And Salmon making a kind of nice impressive jump, but he's got nothing really to jump to. Small players are playing very defensive on this map. Mike and Kylo are kind of out for a second. Now they come re-entering back in. Nobody is acknowledging Salmon back here. They kind of just left him as he's missing all of his shots. They kind of take the sweet time. Kylo's just AFK onto the point, probably like eating some food. Doesn't have time to deal with this Salmon bullshit right now.
It wasn't needed in the end.
Yeah, so
someone was cleaned quite fast by the rest of his team.
Yeah, on the bright side though, Beta got out, still has his Uber, even Ubers for both teams. Now we'll see what sort of defense Lego can pull out here.
Yeah, what do you think about this new area on Logjam last on the right side that replaced the secret zone?
It's huge, Jesus. Oh yeah, they've completely taken out secret, haven't they? It's a very unique change. Last point was probably the one most prone to change, I think. So I'm excited to see some sort of like experimentation. Maybe both teams are kind of unfamiliar with it though, as a new version got pushed out only somewhat recently, at least approved by ETF2L.
And Lego are trying to push out of lobby, but it seems that the position on the second point is very hard to deal with when you are trying to push out on this map, and this proved to be too bit of a task, too much of a task, sorry, for the Lego boys, and they are quite happy to buy themselves some more minutes on their last.
Yeah, it's unbelievably hard to push out into the second point here. You just got such a towering advantage. You can kind of defend any choke point just from one location, and that location is also the highest point in the map. There's just nothing that could really break you down unless you start wiping people at last. As the Uber comes in, Suave.
Dr. Phil is getting dropped!
Oh no, Beta, he's kind of had his vision torn between the Uber there and the kind of fight going on the left-hand side, but they decide to make a push out for it anyway, but the kind of bleeding players left, right and centre, and now both teams are kind of confused what they should do. Maybe, I don't think Suave have quite the musk to push into this lineup, especially with respawners coming back now, so they're just going to collect the pieces, rebuild it.
Yeah, Lego have to be careful though, because they did not build for a while, and they are now realizing they need to, because there is nothing else they can do at the moment. And Mike has gone spy once again.
Ooh.
Once again, no, it was Kyler last map, excuse me.
Yeah, they are opting for the spy a lot more. Usually they like to play their sniper classes and whatnot, go with the fact that one of the more highest skilled teams in the game is go with that skillful sniper plays, but Mike, on close onto the point, is kind of now he's just walking back out as his own class. He's just all that invis wasted for nothing. They decide to Uber in anyway, abandon the spy plays, and now Phil actually takes out Samsey during that push. Mirlin's getting juggled about. He can't get out for the life of him. Josh actually picks him off, but Josh sacrifices himself, but that's enough. I think that's a good trade, but Mike, the spy play finally gets introduced into the plan. Maybe this was the plan all along, and now maybe Kylo and wait, what, the Suave sleepy? Is that Mitzi? Mitzi changing his name. I thought they tagged another player in there. They kind of caught me off guard.
Mike was trying to go back in the last from the shutter door, and obviously he opened the door. Nobody was in sight. From Dr. Phil was defending the door, so he just blew the stickies and forced Mike to go away. And now we have Kylo Forfen that is playing Pyro. Is he inside the spawn eating? No, he's not. They will attack the last with the Pyro. Interesting.
Oh man, are these the old Ips tactics? Remember there was a while where Ips was playing with the idea of having a Pyro Uber to last and just pushing people off the point so they can't block it.
Yeah.
It was a very cheeky play.
It could work best on Gullywash though, because you could go from under the points and go straight the Pyro on the point, but on Logjam the point is very far away from the entrances, so it will be interesting to see what Merlin and his boys are opting to do, and so far they are opting to try to bait the Lego boys out. But you see, that's the problem, that's the current problem for Logjam maybe. The fact that both for the attackers and for the defenders it's quite hard to move and very easy to just hold your ground.
They've spotted the Pyro player right now, and
the heavy now.
Yeah, they've kind of reacted appropriately, going with the heavy, nothing to reflect back with that heavy.
Where is the engineer? Where is the engineer to build the sentry gun on top of the second point and then the teleporter?
Oh, Kyler gets taken out there, holding this flank left-hand side by himself. Maybe hoping that Beta would push out and will get caught by the roaming Pyro.
Uber is popped by Merlin and Numlocked to make Dr. Phil and his boys spend their own Uber charge. And now the heavy is coming into play, but he gets destroyed as the soldiers had the height advantage on him.
He's caught out by himself and he gets picked off by Setbluch. And now this prompts the push out from Lego. Can they finally make this back? They haven't even got control of the Spire. This is looking very bad for Suave now. And there's just nowhere to run for the poor sleepy Mitzi. Now it's just Miralin. At least, thank God, he got out.
Yeah, thanks to Samsey that destroyed Sorex trying to chase on the truck, but they still are 2 down. So if Lego are quick enough, they can still get the middle point for free. But look at Mike on the roof with Samsey, completely destroying Josh as he tries to go in.
But then Phil counter destroys him up on that hut area. It's a very dangerous area to be pit against a demo man with. Actually, Phil drops down. He's kind of, a very nice pipe coming out from Phil. I take everything back, Phil. I'm sorry.
Salmon is going for Merlin. Oh no.
Merlin having a nice delaying surf into the air. Can't make it easy for Salmon right there. Kyler kind of sacrificing his life there. I don't know what he was trying to pull off there. Maybe trying to just follow up that salmon kill.
This is good play by the Ghost so far.
Yeah.
When they want to push out and they are committing to it, it works quite well for them.
Yeah,
now they're trading the Ubers inside the Logjam.
And Salmon trying to make some play onto the Spire there. He actually kind of gets out quite... Yeah, he just gets out. There's no other ways. But yeah, not much happening on that little push. I was kind of waiting, but the Uber versus Uber kind of stay each other down. The Spire kind of look at each other again. So we're just back to a waiting period, I suppose. Let's talk about the weather, Twiggy.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the real weather or just the one that is displayed on the Logjam skybox?
Well, we could talk about how the fact that everyone's so much happier than the fact that it's brighter. Everybody hated the... what was that last map that we played?
Metalworks?
Yeah, everybody hated that map just because it was all dark.
Oh.
They think they've never seen a nighttime before with all these gamers. Anyway, now you see SUAVE making a very epic push coming in. They don't even have to use it all. Lego have to use theirs. Their Beta was caught between a rock and a hard place. It was either death by numlocked or having to use that Uber. And Mirror's got the full Uber now.
Do you think that SUAVE saw that Beta popped?
Yeah, they definitely saw Beta pop. Yeah, they saw numlocked kind of. There was a good like 2 seconds of them staring at exchanges like you asshole, and had to click the Uber button. I'm afraid. Alright, a very easy second point coming up. SUAVE, they still hold the intimidating Uber that got them that second point. They take out Beta. It's looking very, very, very grim for Lego here. Even more berries. For every player that goes down, it just adds another berry to the very dark situation. For but can Sorix do anything? They're all pretty low. Maybe if you went for the greatest streak of all kind, but no. 2-0 for SUAVE. It looks like SUAVE are back on point this map, and you'd think this would be Lego's strongest map. What with SUAVE being uncomfortable with it.
Maybe, but SUAVE, Lego, I mean, don't know either how to push properly from mid to second anyway, so they're hoping to get some kind of good middles in order to carry themselves up to SUAVE's last, but so far it's not happening as Dr. P finds himself way too low to move forward on the point. And now that Salmon made this distraction plays and died, there's nothing protecting Beta. Beta is down to 6 health. Surely the Lego players have to get out.
Oh my god, I just see like... I'm just emotionally speechless just after watching Miralin dodge 2 scouts swatting around him like filthy flies, and he just couldn't touch him. He was on like 10 HP and he was still alive, dancing the dance moves of Disco.
And meanwhile Beta didn't have the same amount of skill or luck to do the same, and he died late.
Oh, Miralin would be disgusted at that word. 100% skill. It's a SUAVE plays, you could almost say. Alright, full Uber advantage for Miralin and his mighty feet. And now maybe they can get a little pick onto Salmon on this edge here. He actually retreats back. He almost died then, before the push even happened.
Lego has an engineer this time.
Very interesting spot coming out from Sebluch.
He might just die when the Uber gets popped because he won't be close enough to the spawn to retreat.
And Numlock taking out Dr. Phil there, and they take out the sentry. Sorix here is fighting on 2 players by himself. He actually takes out 1 player, retreats back, but he's kind of left his team for dead. But now he's delayed enough time for Beta and Josh and whatnot to kind of counter with their own Uber, see if they can follow up with these kills. Sorix, who's still behind from the previous fight, is just taking out both the medic and Numlocked, and now it's a wipe for SUAVE. That's just what they need to push out into this very difficult second.
Indeed, and if they are quick enough, they can maybe reclaim the middle before the whole SUAVE team is up. And yes, 3 players from SUAVE won't get the spawn on mid.
Kyler, sneaky Kyler is in the cave as well. Will anybody spot him in time? He comes out to see if he can make a play. He takes out Sorix. Maybe he can go for this pinch behind him. Mike has decided to help him in this pinch, but the rest of SUAVE are all the way back. Too scared of Salmon on this mid, and now they've just... Maybe they're just delaying time, and it seems to work now. SUAVE have finally caught up to the plan and starting to take out all these players.
Kyler is still on Beta. Oh, he gets destroyed at the last second, but Beta goes down to a nice follow-up from Mitzi and Mike.
Yeah, Mike is capping during all this time as well. whilst all this chaos is happening. Sorix does do a nice little job of taking out Numlock before that, even surviving the event. My god, Sorix is having a wonderful game, but in saying that, he does get taken out, and there's only 3 players left on last. 2 of them are respawn, and now it's... Ooh! Salmon making a very good exchange there. It's just Beta by himself. Can he delay enough time? Oh, not enough. 3-0 coming out for the SUAVE team. It's looking very bad, but they've got all the time in the world. Well, maybe not all the time, but 16 minutes to be exact to make a comeback here.
Yeah.
And I believe in Lego. If they made a believer out of me in that first map, Twiggy, and
yeah, I hope
goddamn
Lego,
they can do it.
I hope that Lego will recognize if they lose the early players on mid that they have to get out and not stay too long. Because if they stay too long, that means that Beta will die.
Maybe they need to stop focusing Merlin. He's just too hard of a target for them to actually focus on. Get the classes with guns, and that's what Sorix is doing right now. He takes out Kyler for fun. They actually flank Mike. Mike has been put very low. He's out of the fight. He's dead even. And Sleepy Mitzi doing his best to kind of defend out the fight. They're also low, these
Merlin is dead.
Players. Merlin is dead. Say it ain't
finally.
so. The man with the fancy footwork cannot catch a break, I guess. And now, still a lot of time being delayed by Mitzi here as Samsy's like shooting Sorix in the back. But Sorix, he's like a boss in of its own. And he's going to lose this 1v1 and make me look bad now saying that. Oh no, he isn't. Good job, Sorix.
Thanks to good sticks by Dr. Phil. Lego about
Mike
time
jumping in the mid, causing a lot of damage. Can he take on 3 players at once? He doesn't have to. Kyler comes in from the back because he makes a distraction play. Can Kyler, but Sorix with the 1v1 skills again. Taking out Kyler. Maybe we've got a whole new like Prem breakout champion.
Yeah.
What's that newcomer award? We need to get Sorix on that. Bring him a trophy at least.
Some propositions will be made after this season to Sorix, most likely.
Yes, it's looking like a very attractive game. People will notice, I think, especially if you look at the storyline and went, wait a minute, SUAVE dropped 3 rounds to the Lego here, as they're pushing in onto the second. They're kind of strong-arming them, but SUAVE doing a good job of kind of just like anti-airing that soldier there. And now they go for the counterplay, they can recollect to the soldiers and they just bomb them straight forwards, but now Sepluch actually making a lot of time for his team there to get out. He's still alive, a bit overconfident coming out from the Finnish scout there. And now Mike comes jumping in. Phil had not backed out enough in time, he decided to go for some sort of play on choke and it didn't work out in the end. Now it's just Sorix, he's just a mere mortal and he gets taken out.
Yeah, it seems that whenever Lego is wanting to go for a fight, they don't commit hard enough. Like they bought themselves the entry on second, and they just stand near the point instead of completely crushing Numlocked that was near the lobby entrance, and they just gave the time to Numlocked and his boys to crawl their way back on this second point.
Now with they've got intimidating Uber coming into second now, Twiggy, then just using that, just kind of going like, scaring off Lego into the last point now. Maybe they can even
once
use
again,
that
Peter has taken shitloads of damage, even before the Uber is popped from SUAVE.
Yeah, but he's in resupply, he can't be harmed there, but they don't need to be in resupply, they need to defend the point, they need to watch out for the objectives. This is the time, Twiggy, this is where the comeback will be made by Lego, surely.
Hashtag believe. Yeah, they have their back against their backs against the wall.
I'm gonna watch the man of Lego right now. I'm gonna watch Sorix. I'm gonna see what he does exactly in the middle. I'm gonna go for the mind of Sorix. Okay, I'm fighting on this left-hand side. I'm going for the huge flank. I'm fighting Kyler. Kyler doesn't scare me. Okay, maybe he scares me a little. I'm going back. I'm going back in. Full force from my team. I've got this. We're winning. No, we're not. We're going about even. Actually, we are winning. I believe. I'm going forwards and. I've won. Okay, let's cap points. Yeah, high five, team.
Time has been added.
Well done, nice insights. When it's team comes, when we have Turbotabs.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what's going to happen. I cut the story too short, so it gets taken out in the log room there, and Josh kind of deals with the leftovers.
Alright. Lego are in second, but look at Mike and Merlin and Numlock, they're blocking it. And once again, Lego did not go forward enough to deny the entry from the SUAVE gamers, and they're forced to pop way earlier. And they even lose Josh in the process. This is very bad. Fortunately, it seems that Beta will be able to escape this time.
Alright, very strong Uber exchange coming out for SUAVE there. They take out 2 players. Now they're looking to ride the momentum into seconds. They've got no plans to kind of pick off players, defend this middle point at all. They've just completely give it up. And they're actually trying to chew off more SUAVE here, kind of keep forward, keep going. That's the signs of a good team there, realising they don't need all the players to cap that middle point. They can just keep moving forward, if, like Rocky Balboa says. And now they just jump straight in. Mike's a little bit of damage. Now it's kind of playing out quite long actually. Actually, you see Sepluch taking out Mitzi there. There's some fighting going off cave. We've got Sorex, the main man, going up the huge flank, whilst the rest of the team, they've actually broken this up into like Sorex taking one side and then 5 other players taking the other side. It's very strange, but it's working, Twiggy. And now the Ubers get exchanged out. Beta pops his Uber. SUAVE are panicking here. They have to get people out. Mirrelin's caught out in logged room. They're focusing Mirrelin instead, but they shouldn't be focusing. The scouts are focusing the combat classes, but they've got so many combat classes. Lego have, and now Mike's being jumped in. It's a blender of red and blue, and even more red from the blood. And now Lego, during all the chaos, have made all the right decisions.
Yes,
and
they did.
Won. They haven't won, but they won that fight.
At least.
Won the battle, will win the war.
Will Peter swap to crits? No, he won't. In regular Uber.
We haven't seen any crits coming out this evening. I'm a bit
That's
disappointed. I didn't get to use my... I've only had to use my over-the-top voice once for that air shot.
There is no Russians, no French players on these
Phil
teams.
gets caught out by himself in that the log room, and his team were over in choke. Poor decision coming out from Phil, but also poor decision coming out from his team supporting him. And now SUAVE, off the back of this, they've just taken out Josh as well, who hasn't got the memo of getting out. Now Sinzi's just pushing his luck on this choke area. Sorex is kind of cashing out, showing that the house always wins. No luck pressing today. Salmon going for the big bomb onto Mirrelin, but Mirrelin's already inside Logjam. And log room.
Here you go.
Could be worse, could have said Space Jam. And now they've got a sniper, Mike. It's 4-0, he feels pretty confident, he doesn't need no stinking...
Nice Uber from Victor this time.
Yeah, and Uber's getting exchanged out. Mitzi's still in this fight though. He's doing a moderate amount of damage. Actually, Mike has a nice pick onto Salmon there. There's like the weirdest fight happening in log room, and now there's Phil. Phil is launching all sorts of pipes. He only takes out Mirrelin for his troubles there. Kyler's beating up Beta in the background, so he's going to get taken out eventually. And now it's just Salmon who's just respawned from that Mike headshot from earlier.
Yeah, what an awful set of decisions from the Lego players. They're showing too much respect for the SUAVE boys, not opting to go straight to head on. And Sepluch gets destroyed once again.
It's like the drive-by snipe almost. It looked like he still was moving whilst he sniped that.
And we were talking about Kritzkrieg, and look at what Mirrelin is using right now.
Ooh. Here we go, boys. And we've got the Numlocked as well, the master of Kritzkrieg, right up there with GDK. Just proudly displays some of his crit stickies onto his YouTube channel. You can find them out there. I can remember one against Relic, such a long time ago, wiped out the entire team with just one sticky. Dunk must have orgasmed at that time when he saw that sticky, but it's just Mirrelin now. Maybe he can make this happen. Who are they going to lead this crits with? Okay, they're looking at this right hand side. They're taking their time though, but they can't take too much time. That crit there, Uber's going to call it eventually. If he gets spotted by the soldier, he gets taken out by the first crit stick. They're panicking now. All the players have just jumped in to kind of cause a distraction with the follow-up from Logjam. You can't stop the crit train. It's over. 5-0. GG. I can call. Lego versus SUAVE. This has been Season 20, powered by TT Esports. This was Week 3 coverage of Logjam and Gullywash. And Twig, let's look at some logs.
Once again, Mike and Sorex going ham.
I'm having trouble to find them.
Link them to you, no worries.
Oh wait, no, I've found them. Thank you though. Okay, we've looked at damage. I feel like every single game we look at damage way too much. So let's look at a different stat. Let's look at what's the unappreciated stat that nobody ever looks at. Caps. Yes. And our cap king for this game is Kyler for fun. Whilst he wasn't getting beaten to death by Sorex, he was busy capping points for his team SUAVE, and somebody has to do the work. Somebody has to do the objectives. Those are what win the games, not kills.
Of course.
All right, humouring aside, let's see what else we can draw from these stats. I just see Sorix again having a very dominant performance. Mike again having another dominant performance. And
look at how little damage Merlin has had to withstand with only 2k 300 damage on his face, while Bitter what Bitter had tanked more than 4k damage.
Yeah, it's like twice as much damage being launched at Beta.
That's very impressive.
And I guess it plays very well into the fact that Beta also has twice as many deaths as Merlin.
Oh.
Top-notch analysis. If you do double the damage, you will get double the kills.
That's not always the case thanks to the heals mechanics, but anyway, that means that Merlin is really the dodge master, right?
The fancy footwork, man. I can't think of anything that kind of rhymes with disco, but the disco man. Anyway,
Merlin will also be featured on the TFTV Stream 1 later this week.
Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can bring some players in, get some juicy interviews going, get some the pot stirring. See if we can drag Phil and Samsy in here. Hello?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I must have blacked out there. Okay. Yeah, whilst I grab these players into some interviews, Twiggy, you tell our wonderful audience, what did LEGO do wrong in that last game? What could they have done better?
Maybe they were respecting too much their opponents, and they were not worshipping enough their W key on their keyboard. It looked like all the fights Lego was taking were not very taken convincingly, I would say. Like, they were going in, but they were respecting some kind of security distance between them and the blue combo each time, and that allowed every time the SUAVE members to either escape or collect themselves and focus on Lego players. So maybe they need to just plug off the brain sometimes and just go ham, because they have shown that they can win fights. Looks like they are not very confident in their abilities.
Maybe the nerves caught up to them on that second map. It was kind of delayed for that first map, though. It was like a whole new team, I'd say, on that first map, Twiggy. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they were a bit more prepared to defend their lives on a known map rather than on Logjam, which is most likely pretty much less practiced during the training matches than Gullywash.
Alright, I've got Samsy. He's agreed to an interview. Maybe he'll bring somebody as well. We'll see. See, just learn Samsy connecting in. I've asked Phil. Still got radio silence there. Info. Okay, I need to. When Samsy joins in, when Samsy joins in, when Samsy joins in, Twiggy, you ask him some of the compelling questions while I get Phil some the mumble info.
Alright, but someone needs to drag him on the correct channel. I don't have the rights to do it.
Do you have the rights, Sim?
We just have to move to the member route.
It's okay, I'll give him the access token.
Say too loud on the stream, we'll get swarmed. What's happening, Turbotabs? Oh no.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello! Here we go.
Hello, Samsy. First, congratulations on your win. A very convincing overall. Maybe a bit shaky at the start there, but in the end, like any old good team, it looked very promising. How did you react to Lego then?
I don't know. We just kind of tried to play our own game. Struggled a little bit on Gullywash at the beginning, and then we just like got our shit together and won.
So you're not nervous at all coming into the first map, where they just you were 2 rounds, like it was like 2 rounds apiece, and you were just like, oh good god, this is Lego. We're playing.
I expected that we gonna drop a couple of rounds, but I never was like worried that we would actually lose a map. And we didn't.
That's some great confidence shown up there. Did you play with Mitzi beforehand on this week?
Yeah, he played today with us for the warm-up. I kinda was under the impression that we needed a Merc, so I got Larval Extract to play, but then all of a sudden Mitzi showed up, and then we just said, yeah, well, he's on the roster anyway, so just let him play. And yeah, he was like a little silent when it comes, but overall it was good enough, I think.
Yeah, I guess that was Numlocked taking care of the comms aspect for the combo for you, maybe?
Yeah, mostly like he's just a shot caller for us, and like we didn't really play out any strategies really. We just like tried to push, and Numlock was just calling his shots and what to kill, and sometimes it worked.
Alright. So with Nox being absent this evening, was it noticed by the team?
Oh yeah, we knew that like he's not gonna be here for the whole week, like we knew that in advance. He's on vacation, so.
Did that actually work out quite nicely with the match being Lego? Did he actually intentionally set the vacation time with this match? Or
no, I think it was planned beforehand, and we just got really lucky that this official is more likely, like more an easy one.
Wow, it's almost like you've got an admin on your team.
I think Nox wasn't even on the team when the tables came out. But yeah, it just worked out well for us this time.
Okay, so overall, your season, you're doing very well. You've only dropped a single point to Reason, and you're seeded first right now. Is there any teams upcoming you're worried about?
Well, I guess the other 2 strong teams are BK and the Frenchies, like the good Frenchies, not eShot.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
Hello.
Well, it's true, like there's nothing you can say against it, I guess. Yeah, like those 2 teams are pretty much the only ones we are worrying after beating Reason, so.
So, if you had to, between the 2, who's more of a threat then? Are you more scared of BK, or are you more scared of the French?
Probably BK, based on the fact that they won against the Frenchies yesterday. But like, we've never played the Frenchies actually in PCW, so no idea. And when we have our full roster for once, we do pretty good against BK. So yeah. Yeah, I would say BK, none of it.
Alright, so we're joined by Beta now from Team Lego. Beta, first good games, very well played. You've kind of shown everybody that you kind of deserve the Prem spot in a way, putting a decent fight, especially in that first map against SUAVE. How are you guys feeling?
We got a couple of rounds. It was really nice.
You're like, victory achieved.
No, not quite, but it was good to have a strong start, just to show that it's not a complete fluke.
All right, what was going through your guys' mind when it was 2-2 in the Gullywash match?
I don't know. I think we just kept playing, trying to keep our head cool, not let it get to our heads, and just keep going.
Okay. As Gullywash panned off into a victory for SUAVE in the end, and it went to Logjam, would you say Logjam's a weaker map for you, or just SUAVE so much more impressive on that map, or what do you think made?
Logjam is definitely one of our worst maps. We've had nothing but terrible mids pretty much ever. Most teams just put a lot of pressure on us and we crumble. It wasn't that bad for us, but it was still pretty bad, and they just played really well. Did some nice last pushes. Had some good mids, and we couldn't cope, and they just did so much more damage. Had better DM.
Alright, so this evening, both teams used a Merc. After much deliberation of finding out what those Mercs were, they've got changed a little bit. But I'm going to bring it back to you, Samzy. You used Mitzi this evening. How is Mitzi? would you say he's like the go-to merc, or well, not really a merc, more of like the backup? Is he really filling the shoes right, or?
Well, he's definitely not filling Nox shoes. Like, if it comes to like calls and DM, Nox definitely has the edge on him. But yeah, like he's usually there when we need him for PCWs as well. So I guess for now he's our go-to merc.
How was he with this evening? Was he? Did he do exactly what needed to do? Did what he needed to do?
Yeah, as I said, like he's just way too silent in the comments. Like he told us that he was like pretty much partying all weekend or like all week.
So that's
he's like
that's why
really tired and whatever. Yeah.
Is that why he changed the name on the? He changed his name halfway through to Sleepy. I thought you tagged another player in for a second there. I was like, Sleepy, who is this guy?
Nah, it was just messy.
He just wants to make an excuse up onto the stream. It's like, I'm not this bad guy. I'm just tired. I'll totally do better. Anyway, back over to Beta. You've actually used Salmon this evening instead of Crizzle. How would you say he played and contributed to the team this evening?
Well, he was a surprisingly good sniper. He did work. I didn't expect that. I didn't know he was a good sniper. But overall, he did really well. There was just a couple of times where you would call something out that we kind of had practiced, and he wouldn't know what we were talking about. So in those situations, Chris would have been nice to have.
What did happen to Crizzle?
I think he's down with the flu. He's not feeling well. So
sick gamer.
Yeah. So throw out your prayers. He might be dying.
Well, maybe we can count on him onto your next game, which is I think it's currently escaping me right now.
So it's against Lethal Weapon for Lego.
Lethal Weapon. How do you feel about that match coming up, Beta?
I feel relatively good. I think we've beaten them in PCWs, or at least tied. It's very up and down how they play. Depends on how Forsaken feels and whether or not he's playing Pocket or Demo or Scout or whatever he feels like. It seems very random. So if we catch them on an off day, we can probably beat them.
Well, maybe this match you've just played maybe will serve as a confidence boost, because you guys played very well. I would say everyone had you down from the start, thinking it's just going to be a bloodbath. But no, you guys actually drew blood from the Goliath, known as SUAVE. So it's looking very good, I would say, into your next match.
Yeah. We'll definitely try and take all of the positive things we can from this match and move on.
Alright, Samzy is currently dropped for now. I'm not sure if he's going to come back or so, but another question for you, Beta. We saw Sorex having a very, very, very dominant match overall in both maps against this SUAVE lineup. Where did you get this guy? What? Good God.
I don't know where we got him, but he's been a beast for a really long time, and he's super consistent. And he could possibly be one of the best scouts in Prem. That's what it feels like to me. He's just always really, really, really good. Both on Sniper and Scout.
I'm not sure about you, Twiggy, but it made me a believer.
Oh, maybe me too, yeah.
Yeah, it was
nice to see that. It's nice to see that, especially new players. Last season we had Afikul and Captain, for example. Know that Sorex is exploding. It's nice to see that there is some new blood coming into the Prem scene.
I think he was floating around before, and he played like maybe 1 or 2 Prem matches before, but he's never been in like a full-fledged season.
I think he came from the Highlander scene, where he was one of the best scouts. So it seems like those guys are not entirely terrible. They actually have some talented people. So who would have thought, right?
You don't like Highlander, Beta?
Say what?
You don't like Highlander?
I do like it. I don't like to play it, but I think it's fine. It's just people make jokes about Highlander players, but this actually shows that they have a lot of skill.
Ignore me, I'm just trying to stir the pot. Okay. Well, I'm out of questions, Twiggy. I'm not sure about you.
I don't have a lot either. I'm not that good with this kind of exercise anyway.
Alright. Well, Samzy's kind of left promptly, so no shout-outs for him. What about you, Beta? You got any shout-outs?
I'll just like to shout out all the people at LEGO and all the people I know, and Denmark Vinner. That's it.
Denmark Vinner, indeed. And how about you, Twiggy?
Shoutouts to my team that had to find a mech tonight. This is access denied in mid. And shoutouts to Shag and to Jesus if they watch this. And that's pretty much it. Shoutouts to Sim for showing up tonight and casting this nice game as well.
Alright, I guess that just leaves me. Shout out to the dankest nugs, who probably don't watch these VODs at all. And shout out to you guys watching this. You're the reason we do this. Less than 3. And finally, shout out to Lego and SUAVE making a very entertaining cast for this evening. But if that's everything, let's cut it, press it, print it. Let's finish it. I'll see you guys later. This has been Season 20, powered by TT Esports, Week 3 coverage of LEGO vs SUAVE. Tune in next time.